Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 22 of Kenya's Market Map. We're coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya, East Africa. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we'll be having a conversation about, I know today it's going to be about companies. Yeah. And of course, Talk of the Week coming up. New segment is coming up. Thank you so much for joining us. So just to jump right through, I'm your co-host for today, Keegan Kiplimo.
I'm Daniel Kalia.
And I'm Easter Fanning.
Yeah, so staying on Easter. Easter, what has been your highlight of the week?
Wow, Keegan. So my highlight for this week has been something in the west of Africa. That's with regards to flutterwave.
Yeah.
So flutterwave secured a 250 million. Series D funding.
Chop my money.
Yeah.
That's like 24 billion Kenya shillings, you know.
So that places it as at a valuation of around $3 billion. Yeah. So
Unicorn.
my hope is to see even more unicorns come up. We've seen Move. Is Move a unicorn?
I don't know.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, but my hope is to see
someone can tell us in the comments
a number of African companies become unicorns. Though the other thing is, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine that was studying about flutterwave, and then the fact that it is African. But then they asked me why should it be based in where?
They have an office in the US, I think in New York.
In the Silicon Valley, right?
Silicon Valley, San Francisco.
So they probably
that's exactly where the offices are.
Yeah, but
based. So the conversation spanned into the fact that Africa does not have the infrastructure they need. That is, flutterwave would need to operate.
The financial infrastructure.
I don't know. We didn't delve into that. There's financial. There's infrastructural. There's human resources.
Yeah. Because especially when you're looking for funding in the VC space, like, it's best if you're close to the Silicon Valley. If you're closer to San Francisco, if you're in San Francisco, the better, because that's where like all the major VC players are.
Yeah, sure. And I was looking at
what has geographical closeness got to do with anything in this world where everything is digital?
No, let me show you.
Good question.
Let me show you.
No, seriously.
It's a good question.
They were actually, if you look at the information that came out, shout out to GB, who's leading the team there and the whole team. They said that they don't have. GB? Yeah, that's his name. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's the guy leading flutterwave. So now the thing is, they have operation. They don't have any operations in the US, but they have an office there. And the thing is this, Easter, you come from Homa Bay. If you relax. I'm just trying to paint a picture here. If you're looking for if you put up your headquarters in Homa Bay and you're looking for funding, how many VCs are you gonna find in Homa Bay? Go close to Kisumu. How many VCs are you going to find in Kisumu? How many VCs are you going to find in Nairobi? Vis-a-vis, how many VCs are you going to find in the United States of America?
I don't agree with that analogy.
Okay. But here's the thing, Easter. For me, flutterwave has really stood out, particularly because of the reason that if you look at the valuations currently, flutterwave is the biggest financial institution in Nigeria. It's bigger than the banks. Yes. Zenith Bank, UBA is even operating in Kenya.
What's this other one?
Biggest.
Okay, forget that.
That tells you something.
Yeah.
Disruption, bro. Disruption is not coming. Disruption is here. You know, and this is a big moment for entrepreneurs and startups that yes, it can be done. You can really disrupt, you know, the chain. Yeah. So
and
I mean,
this funding they've secured, it's mostly for acquisitions.
Yeah.
So I'd be keen to see what companies they're looking to acquire, so they can grow the user base and get into more markets.
Yeah.
But so far, they're big already. I mean, they're working with M-Pesa. They've integrated with PayPal.
Yeah.
I mean, the sky's the limit.
Do you know what? And actually, one of the reasons why they said that they have that office in the US is to also, you know, facilitate the partnerships between PayPal, you know, and Visa card and MasterCard and all those guys. But you know, we have to give it to them.
Yeah.
Our Niger brothers aren't joking, man. You look at the FDI coming into this continent.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Big up to them.
Yeah, but I think the big thing with flutterwave, the interesting thing is that it was founded in 2016.
Yes.
So in
like 2015,
like what, 5-6 years? Yeah,
they've already got an evaluation of 3B.
They've beaten all the banks.
Like that's a big achievement,
banks?
I think, and also for like
in Nigeria.
Okay, because how big is equity?
They're the biggest.
How big is equity?
Equity is 1.3 trillion Kenya shillings. That's the size.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's a very impressive feat. Like, and I think it just gives hope to everyone who is trying to get into the startup space. And these things can be done. But back to the point on location. Yeah. In as much as we're going global, I think human touch is still important in such kind of transactions. Having investors who are able to back you in multiple rounds and multiple series rounds, especially creating those connections, creating those networks.
Yeah.
In as much as we are global, you can always shoot emails, you can always have calls and teams. But if you're still based in Lagos or you're based in Nairobi, you won't be. It's not that easy to go have coffee with someone, with a player in the VC space, and get that human interaction as you're selling him the idea or whatever. It's easier when you have an office in San Francisco where you can easily be connected to. You can go have coffee. It's not like, okay, on the other hand, it's not like the VC guys have that much time to always have coffee.
That was my next question, man.
Oh man.
But I think that geographical closeness helps with forming human connections.
I don't want to discount that. I cannot discount the essence of human connections in especially establishing trust. Because people, even this VC fund managers, they don't invest in companies as much as they do in people.
Yeah, right? It's more, especially for startups. Yeah, it's more of the
so
people.
You called him who?
A GB.
GB, yeah. So this guy, the Facebook co-founder who participated in the funding through a company, I forget the name, B something, B Capital or something. But anyway, this guy saw the potential in this person and then just used that to validate. After that, use now validation. You look at the prospects of the company to validate your
you know, Easter is thinking post-COVID. If we go pre-COVID, we actually, I mean, human interaction was the thing. If you don't have your office there.
No, the other thing is, I was about to liken it to, you guys know the Ndishus. So there's Ed Ndishu of Wapipi. Ed at the moment is not in Kenya. He's abroad.
He's in the US, I think.
He's in the US, yeah. And he went there, and one of the things, when he got there, one of the things he was doing is to look for an engineer. I think a CTO for Wapipe.
Yeah.
So I get that you need to be close to people, but do you really need to go and get based there?
Esther, help me understand. Ndichu was looking for a software engineer in Kenya or in the US?
In the US.
In the US?
Yes.
Okay. Fair argument. You had me in the first half.
So my point was, I agree with you. You need that human interaction and connection. And to create it, you need to be physical at some point to physically meet people. But if this guy easily could have put up a post of LinkedIn or wherever, whichever recruiting platform, and be like, I need a CTO with these qualifications.
But Easter, that's hiring.
You don't need.
We're talking about funding
human
here.
Resource.
We're talking about how much did Flutterwave raise? How much?
These guys.
How much did they raise? $250 million US, and you can't compare that to hiring.
Well, that's one. Okay, I think that's the human resource aspect. LinkedIn, I don't know the decision criteria why you have to go there. Maybe they have their own reasons.
Probably he's there for his other businesses and just happened to.
Which is why I said one of the first things he did when he was there. While at it. But then again, these people have so much money to not travel back and forth when they need to.
This conversation would end. Dan, what's your highlight?
Oh, sorry, just one last minute.
Okay.
Yeah, one last. Yeah, again, part of why to have a space there also when it comes to investor relations, because you already established relations with these funders and everyone over multiple rounds, for instance, before you get to where you are. If you have an office there, I think it's, in a way, it could be easier to interact with them. in case of anything. That's just part of my thinking.
Yeah, because I was about to ask you if you hold BAT.
Guys,
have you ever met the CEO?
This was supposed to be a highlight. This is supposed to be a highlight.
Okay.
No, but I don't have board sitting in BAT. Most of the guys who put money in startups do have like board seats. Yeah. They do have decision making.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a requirement.
Yeah. Anyway,
at you what?
Yeah, I mean many people.
Yeah, most guys to give you equity.
To give me, a board position, a seat at the board.
No, it depends on
just same as
of
what
course,
VCs do.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was interesting. Yeah, it's almost become a mini segment.
Yeah.
Yeah. To my highlight, interesting. There's one I wanted to say, but I'll leave it to Keegan since he'll be closing it out. Something that happened on Thursday.
Okay.
So my highlight of the week is away from the serious things on flutterwave and what people are doing. KCB got the nod from the High Court to auction City Hall.
Only the lion can do that.
Oh, please.
Which is quite, I don't know. It's not something that I had foreseen that City Hall can be auctioned. And there's a private individual somewhere who can potentially own City Hall. It's, I don't know. It's one of those things that you just don't think about.
Yeah.
But it's over 4.3 billion debt. 4.3 billion shilling debt. Yeah, it's just...
That's a lot of money, Dan, eh?
It's a lot of money.
Any chance we could have, at some point, in the same fashion, the Parliament buildings being auctioned?
No, but Parliament...
If it's placed as collateral and the government defaults, then of course that will happen.
Yeah, because I was thinking of the situation where someone owns City Hall.
Yeah.
I would like to own the Parliament, man.
Why?
Anyway, I don't know.
Just
anyway,
things I do when I get filthy rich.
I mean, I'm looking at 4 billion, and then I'm thinking probably that would need intervention from the man on the house on the hill, because that's a lot of money. And now there's like the budgets that the county has become complicated in the last 2 or 3 financial years, because of NMS coming into the picture. So there has been a disruption of budgets and processes on how it's working. So probably the confusion has led to things like defaulting, which I really don't think. I mean, come on. And Nairobi has 60% of Kenya's economy. So City Hall is an important place for this country. So something has to be done here, because KCB are not joking. Like last time I checked, KCB were the guys who actually were putting a lot of pressure, and the guys leading PV Rao and the administration there for Mumia's sugar. So I mean, you can probably something like Mumia's, what happened there, with people bidding, probably you might start bidding for City Hall.
Yeah, that's an interesting. But what will be I'm trying to think of,
because they owed KCB a lot of money.
Sorry?
They owed KCB a lot of money.
There isn't as much interest in owning the City Hall than there is with owning.
It's just an example, Easter.
Okay.
Yeah,
and to your point, Easter, I'm trying to think of the functionality of City Hall. City Hall is important to the legislative affairs of Nairobi County. But if it's to be auctioned to a private investor, so does that mean that City Hall is now going to be renting? The Nairobi County is going to be renting City Hall from
the
new owner.
We're talking about the structure, so probably the new owner could even demolish it and build up stalls. Today in the CBD, stalls have very good returns. Where you partition into small stalls, they have good returns. So probably next year time like this, City Hall could be walking and buy a necklace or something.
And then MCAs are going to look for a different place to sit.
Probably, of course.
Do they sit in the space they have? Anyway, Keegan,
because the MCAs sit in City Hall, yeah?
Yeah, they sit in City Hall. That's where the parliament is.
Okay.
Do they?
Yeah, of course. For every county.
The point I'm driving is that they're not.
Why are you assuming that they are not?
Anyway,
they're not working. I mean, what? Let's not get into politics.
Yeah, but
anyway,
so the functionality of it, and I'm trying to think through. If you want to change the functionality, assume as a developer, because that's prime land in Nairobi. I think it's a good location.
You think it is a good location
for an office?
not for, I don't know, you can do multiple. You said stalls.
Yeah, stalls can
like,
do
I think there are several things that can be done, but I don't see how easy it will be for that change to happen.
Yeah.
And so to me, unless now KCB now transfers ownerships to themselves and then they own it, and now they are the ones collecting the rent. Because in terms of it being sold to someone else, I think it's hard.
But then just to bring in another point on this is, you know, this is giving a bad name to county governments, because we've started seeing county governments coming up with IFBs. Now you county governments, we're gonna pay crazy premiums to access these IFBs simply because of such things like now defaulting, being auctioned, because that's your history. Like, this is their credit history. If Nairobi is going to float an IFB, obviously we'll take this into account. They might probably pay even 18%.
It's so bad. The situation is so bad that if you go to the Nairobi platform, e-citizen platform, to apply for a business permit, you won't get anything. Why?
What do you mean?
Because they have Nairobi County government has not paid whoever it is that was supporting that website. As late as yesterday.
But
these are jokes.
I think for Nairobi it's just a whole mess with NMS, with county, the county. There's the Nairobi County government.
Yeah.
There's the Nairobi
there's NMS.
There's quite a lot of overlap. I don't know who's controlling the budget in the actual sense. As in, it's just a whole mess.
And guess who's hurting?
City Hall, clearly, MCAs. But a brief history about that loan. Initially, the loan was actually owned by Equity.
So
Equity are the one who gave Nairobi County the loan. So this was before the county gov. So that time it was still the Nairobi City Council. And then KCB bought the loan in 2014 from Equity. So I believe at the time they had done their due diligence, they felt confident.
And this is the first time county governments are coming in. You know, previously it was the mayoral leadership.
So this was now there's devolved function. Counties have their own like revenue or allocated.
And Nairobi has a chunk of the revenue.
And I think KCB were like, yo, this feels quite safe, because that's 2014. The first county government started in 2013. So it was still very, very new, very, you know.
So this lion doesn't know how to hunt.
Well,
anyway, move on. On that note.
So guys, my highlight, which of course Dan has pushed to me, which is our highlight now, is this week on Thursday, we were at Riara University together with Arielle for Africa, and we had a conversation about your relationship with money. It was a really, really interesting conversation. Shout out to Edith, shout out to Alice, who were on the panel with us. Thank you so much to the team at Riara University. So if you want to access that video, just click on the pop-up banner here and you can watch that video. Yes.
Kiga kazi ya editing.
No, because today is done. So.